What's happening, guys? So, match preview of tomorrow night's Champions League final. I wish I was saying this about Arsenal, but we can hope for next season. Anyways, Manchester City, two-time winners, Premier League and FA Cup winners, versus Inter Milan, Coppa Italia winners, basically the Italian FA Cup winners, face off for the ultimate trophy. One's either going to win the double or one's going to complete the treble. I'm hoping that Man City complete the treble so that it can shut certain fans up and they become the noisy neighbours. Let's get into the match preview. So, tomorrow night's big final. Let me just bring up some, bring up the current form and everything like that. But yeah, Man City, biggest game of Man City's history, really. This is their second time entering the Champions League final. I don't know how many times Inter Milan have been in the Champions League final, but I think they've won it about 3 times. The last time Inter Milan won the Champions League was 2010 against Bayern Munich. And Inter Milan competed the treble when they won it under Jose Mourinho. And that was a very good Inter Milan team. This final, this time, 2023, it's not the same Inter Milan as we were used to or what we saw 13 years ago. But this Man City's team is much different compared to where they were in 2010. So, it's in Istanbul, the final. Despite never winning the UEFA Champions League, the citizens are much more recent visitors to the final, as they were here for the second time in their 3 seasons, looking to go one better after losing 1-0 to Chelsea in 2021. Their preparations have been outstanding for this showpiece event, as final day league defeat to Brentford, with the title already wrapped up, is their only competitive defeat since early February. This is a long time, But Man City have tried and tried and tried in this competition, and it hasn't worked out for them, and they've been to one final already. This is their second final, so they've been to more Champions League finals than Arsenal have in their entire history. Embarrassing, but it is what it is. Shameless FC. I'm on loan to Man City right now. My Arsenal shirt's blue right now. You get me? So I'm repping the blue side of Manchester so that they can shut the red side of Manchester up. You get me? You know what I mean? How would it not be just sweet? Man City complete the treble and you use Man United as part of it. So Man City have only got one player that won't play, and that's Mendy, for obvious reasons. Inter Milan got one player that won't play, Dalbert, if I said his name right, knee injury. But yeah, the odds looks like Man City. Is it saying Inter Milan favourites? I think about 365 have Inter Milan's favourites. Head to head. Now, we know Man City's last game, they won the FA Cup final. They lost to Brentford, drew to Brighton, beat Chelsea, beat Real Madrid. Inter's last 5 games, beat Torino, beat Atlanta, beat Fiorentina, lost to Napoli, beat AC Milan. Now, the last head-to-head matches between Man City and Inter Milan, they only played twice, and they've both beat each other 3-0. It was a club friendly. Inter Milan beat him 3-0 in 2010 in a club friendly. And in 2011, Man City beat him 3-0 in a Dublin Super Cup. So this is the first time meeting competitively. You know what I mean? When there's something to play for. It just goes to show you where Man City were compared to now. You know what I mean? Because you look at clubs around Man City, they've all played Inter Milan competitively. You know what I mean? But this is Man City's first time. So we've already seen 2 Italian teams buckle in cup finals. We've already seen it. We saw Roma buckle at the knees against Sevilla. And then a couple of nights ago, we saw Fiorentina absolutely buckle at the knees to West Ham. You know what I mean? That's 2 Italian teams that have lost their respective European Cup finals. Now, Inter Milan, they're the ones now left. That's like, are you going to rep it for Italy? You get me? Because you know, Italian teams, Italian clubs in 3 of the European Cup finals in the same season, 2 of them have so far lost. You know what I mean? Now, personally, I've always said if the treble's not going to be won by Man City, it'll be this game the way they don't win it because they'll win that FA Cup. You know what I mean? But Pep hasn't won the Champions League without Messi, right? So that's hanging over his head. He won't get a better chance to win the Champions League than now. Like you are, you know what I mean? Like you're right there for the treble. But if Yaya Touré's African juju thing is anything to go by, Pep won't win this. You know what I mean? Because Yaya Touré said, put African curse on Pep Guardiola to never win the Champions League again. And since he's done that, he hasn't won it. He couldn't win it with Bayern. You know what I mean? He lost the final with Man City. You know what I mean? Pep Guardiola losing the cup final. You know what I mean? But he lost to Chelsea, and that Chelsea team weren't great. That Chelsea, I don't want to say that. Well, yeah, you could say the 2012 one was bad because they won the FA Cup with it. Chelsea lost the FA Cup final, and then went and beat Man City for the Champions League final. So it's even worse. You know what I mean? That 2012 Chelsea team wouldn't even all that, but they won 2 trophies in that season. Couldn't believe it. But fam, like Man City, you know what I mean? It's now or never. I'm telling you, it is now or never. You know what I mean? It's a chance now to finally get a European trophy in the cabinet. It's a chance to emulate Manchester United's treble that they keep yapping on about that happened in the 20th century, right? That's the only thing they've got to cling on to. And if you take that away, Manchester's yours, you know what I mean? Manchester's fully yours. It doesn't matter if you won less league titles than Man United. No matter. I mean, you win that trouble, you as good as lapped Man U for league titles. You know what I mean? Because they'll never live that down. You know what I mean? The fact that you beat them in the FA Cup final and then went to win a treble. Can you imagine the scenes? Can you imagine the scenes? You know what I mean? Couldn't be Arsenal fucking having Spurs go invincible and win the league at Emirates. You know what I mean? If that's going to happen, it's going to happen when I'm long gone. You know what I mean? But Man United fans, they're gonna have to live. They're gonna have to live with this, and then they're gonna have to remember that they wanted Man City to win the league title over Arsenal because they didn't want Arsenal to win it. You see that? You see that? If Arsenal had won the league, at least if City had beat them in the FA Cup final and maybe even won the Champions League, it's only a double. You know what I mean? They've just emulated Chelsea's double. You know what I mean? What matter to United fans? Well, not as much, but you know what I mean? But this is where Man United fans don't want Man City to win now because the treble's on the line. That's what it is. You know what I mean? When it came to Man City against Liverpool for the league and against Arsenal for the league, oh, you all City fans then, weren't you? Nah, you eat that shit. You eat that shit. That's what you wanted. You wanted understand. City complete this treble. You wanted them to win the league, and then they have beat you in the FA Cup final on the way. Scenes, fam. Scenes. This is why I hope Man City do it. My loan move's going well so far. Double. You know what I mean? On course for the third. In fact, let me get my picture up. You know what I mean? Let me get my picture up. My G. You know what I mean? Just imagine the scenes. Those 3 trophies sat in front of Pep next season when they're posing for the new campaign. Just imagine that. And you United fans will have to live with it. But it's a win-win for me because if Man City don't win the Champions League, then Shameless FC episode 5, the finale, is going to be me taking the piss out of Man City that you can't win the fucking Champions League with Pep. You know what I mean? I understand my low move ends as soon as the match finishes. You know what I mean? Well, if you've won it, it stays for a bit until after the match reaction. But if you lose, I'm straight out. And I'm doing my video. You know what I mean? But fam. United fans can gas all they want. Talk about, oh, even West Ham's had a better season than you, mate. Fam, you're about to watch your noisy neighbours potentially emulate your treble from 1999, fam. You know what I mean? Yeah. I bet you'd rather Arsenal win the league now, don't you? You know what I mean? Look at those two trophies there. The Man City have already won, and then they're in this final. Jesus Christ! But you never know. I'm not writing Inter Milan off. To be fair, I did at first. So I thought to myself, City will win it. If they get any, they're going to get one of the Milan teams, and they're going to buckle because they're not the same Milan as before. I mean, but you just never know. You just never know because the way City were in the FA Cup final, like in terms of tiredness kicked in, the weather kicked in. There was too bit of lack of concentration at some points. I'm thinking if you do that against Inter Milan, they could pick you out. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We will see. Anyways, guys, like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Follow all the socials. Fam. Could be the one. This could be the one where, tomorrow, Man United fans will show up for good, at least about the treble, or they'll keep yapping. But we're going to see, fam. But Shameless FC, episode 4. This is it. Over and out. Catch you, man, in a bit for the match reaction tomorrow. Let's see what happens.